How's it going, people? The car industry is currently changing the fundamental basis of how it perceives cars, which will change the types of cars you and I are able to drive in the coming years. In this video, I'll explain exactly what's changed, what it will mean for the future of cars, and give my opinion on whether this is a good or bad thing for us as car people. If you enjoy this kind of content, please hit the like button. Let's try and hit 1,000 likes on this video, and I'll make another video going in depth on some of the crazy technology that we're about to see in cars. Make sure to subscribe as well if you're new, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on my 2 videos every single week. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So where did this all start? As always, time isn't planning on slowing down anytime soon, and neither is the technology industry, as displayed by some of the innovations that appeared at the Consumer Electronics Show, which I never usually pay much attention to, but this year for one reason or another, I found myself hugely interested in what the car manufacturers were saying about the future of cars. And when I say the future, I don't mean like years away, I mean literally stuff that is available to order now, and is going to be available to order in the coming months and years. Usually when I tune into this kind of stuff, the chat is all about cars using renewable energy sources and autonomous cars that drive themselves around, and there are always a bunch of people complaining about whether these cars will be ethical or whether they'll be driven at the same time as regular cars, etc, etc, etc. This time, however, and forgive me if you saw the same stuff and got a different impression, but the dominant discourse wasn't that. Instead, this year there was one key topic that kept on coming up, and no, it wasn't BMW's colour changing car, although that is pretty cool and will have future car wrappers and painters quivering in their boots. It was advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS for short. Different companies are bringing different types of ADAS to the table, but essentially it's a system that aids the driver in increasingly intelligent ways. Very basic examples will be some of the standard stuff we see already today, like active stability control, active dampers, and the likes, but some companies have taken this to a whole new level and broadened the definition of driver assistance. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but the new ADAS that appeared at CES seems to be changing the core function of a car, i.e. getting from A to B, to basically being an extension of a smart home, or like some kind of smartphone. The first example I have of this is the digital cockpit and digital chassis by Qualcomm, which basically turns every surface into a tablet and then enables the car manufacturers to throw basically any applications into their cars via the cloud. Whether it's for gaming or entertainment, news, social media, basically anything you'd find on a smartphone, manufacturers can give a fully digital experience in the cockpits of their cars for each passenger and the driver. And it's not just a concept. General Motors, Volvo, and Renault have committed to using the digital cockpit in their upcoming cars to some degree. In addition to this, just as you might have Google Home or Alexa, manufacturers are working on integrating a voice assistant into their cars, also named a co-pilot. Again, Volvo are looking at having Google voice commands both inside and outside their cars. So you could be sitting in your house in winter, see your cars all frosted up, and simply say, "Okay Google, warm up my car," and it will defrost for you. Similarly, you could be in your car and say, "Okay Google, turn up the heating at home." So your car really becomes an extension of your house. The craziest co-pilot I saw was by Serence, who used machine learning to work out exactly what a driver is going to want or need in any given moment, then do what the driver is going to do automatically on their behalf. So maybe you order a pizza every Friday night when you're driving home from work, the car can order it on your behalf and will do it automatically if you let it. I don't know about you, but these features are so alien to me, especially when I'm still out here driving a Polo from 2002 and an MX-5 from 1997. What this essentially means that your average passenger car will be like a smartphone with wheels. It will give you all the same entertainment, access, connectivity, admin and the likes, but it will also get you from place to place, and obviously it won't fit in your pocket, but then lots of phones don't these days. Now, I work in financial services consulting, so my entire job is based around change. Change to me is usually in aid of making things better, more useful, more efficient, and more effective. But as a huge car guy, I do have some initial questions about this kind of technology in cars. The first, and probably the key one, is whether it's actually that useful, particularly for passengers. As a driver, maybe the machine learning automated car that does what you want on your behalf might be useful, but passengers have full access to their phones anyway, so making the car do all the same things as a phone is a bit of a moot point in my head. You can play most games on your phone, watch most films on your phone, browse YouTube to watch Cars with JB videos on your phone. So why do you need another screen to do the exact same thing and ultimately take more battery life, particularly in a world of electric cars? The second question I had was, given the current situation with the global chip shortage, is it a wise decision to add all of these features to cars that need increasingly powerful chips? All it does is place more reliance on the chip manufacturers, which have proven that they can't keep up with current demand, which has meant manufacturers have been unable to keep up with their own demand. And when I ask that, I'm not trying to say don't innovate, I'm just saying that strategically I wouldn't want an external single point of failure that could stop me from selling my cars as a car selling company. Another question I had is whether all these mad solutions are just a stopgap between now and fully autonomous cars. In an Accenture survey about what people want from their cars, particularly in an autonomous future, it was shown that ultimately the average car consumer wants a personal space where they can relax in a comfortable setting and disconnect. If I was running a car company, which I'm not, so feel free to ignore me, I would focus on making the cars autonomous, then focus on the user experience within the car, making the most luscious interiors that are super comfortable, aesthetically and ergonomically pleasing, and then I would design the in-cabin tech to complement that space. On top of this, other consumer reports note that people want more smart solutions for everyday life, like in-car pet equipment, so basically just buy a Skoda. And in some markets, people want more useful appliances, like in Japan, where Google found that people would like to turn their cars into little homes on wheels, with mini fridges, curtains and the likes. I know that you can't innovate exclusively around consumer reports, but it is worth considering what people actually want, because if they think they want it already, they'll likely buy it. And my final question is whether this technology will also translate into the luxury car market and the high performance market. I would assume the luxury car market would benefit from a lot of this tech, but sporty offerings need to be lightweight and more focused around the actual experience of driving the car, how dynamic it is, how responsive it is, how fast it is, how it sounds, all that great stuff. So I'm sure there will be some translation between this innovation around turning a car into what is effectively a command center, but I'm not sure exactly how far it will translate. In my opinion, which you're more than welcome to agree or disagree with in the comments down below, some of this innovation is probably a bit unnecessary, but that's not to say it's bad. If cars can do and be more things to more people, that will no doubt be a positive, and for the vast majority of people, a car needs to be a practical and helpful tool. So as long as innovation continues down this path, it's just adding more practical and helpful things to a car. I think as a car person, my initial response is great, but I'm not that fussed as long as it looks good, drives good and lets me play music, but then I know I'm heavily biased towards more bare bones cars, so whatever. So what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts, so do let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you hit the like button if you'd like a more in-depth video on some of the amazing tech that will be gracing the car world soon. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers at this point, so please do hit subscribe if you haven't already. Massive thanks to the patrons as always for their support, and to you guys as well for watching. I'll see you in the next one.